ladies and gentlemen. It is a peculiar case of Dharam Sankat over the Ram Mandir. For 550 years, Ram Bhakts have held on to their undying astha in the Ram Janmabhoomi. For 70 years, they have fought a legal battle. Today, as the day nears for the consecration, or what is called the Pran Pratishtha, the self-proclaimed torchbearers of secularism are caught in a bind. Let's tell you why. Remember, Congress sign Rahul Gandhi has always projected himself as a devout Jane-udhari. In fact, ahead of Rajasthan polls, posters declared him as a Shiv Bhakt as well. He is, of course, gone for both Kailash Mansarovar and Kedarnath Yatras. Yet his party bosses Sonia Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge and Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary are just a little bit in a twist and hesitant to accept or even publicly declare whether they are going for the Ram Mandir, Pran Pratishtha or consecration. On the other hand, Mamata Banerjee is a self-professed Durga devotee and is often seen playing dhak in puja pandals. Every year she prays to Ma Durga and even made paintings of her, yet she and her party are silent, pin drop silence on her attendance of the Pran Pratishtha ceremony. Delhi Chief Minister, again self-proclaimed Hanuman Bhakt, and has even challenged the BJP to recite the Hanuman Chalisa in a competition. Yet, since he is in Vipassana, there is no official confirmation if he will be headed to Ayodhya on the 22nd of January or not. Because after all, his Nani did not want to worship Ram where there was once a masjid. Now, let's take a look at CPI-M's General Secretary, Comrade Sitaram Yechury. Now, many will say, what's in a name? But ironically, the name is Sita Ram. But going to the Ram Mandir is a no-no. He can be seen in this picture with the earthen pot on his head. This photo is from 2018, during the Bonalu festival in which goddess Mahakali is worshipped. But when asked, he said that the local people wanted him to do so, so he accepted this. Otherwise, the CPI-M ideologically follows atheism. Today, when asked if he will attend the consecration ceremony, however, he has flatly refused. In fact, a statement says that any decision to attend such a religious ceremony would be against the constitution. Of course, secularism also in grave danger. Sitaram Yechury had no consternation in attending the iftar party in 2018 when the Congress invited. But for Ram Mandir, he wants to keep his secular credentials intact. Cannot challenge them. Today, he says that Ram and Rajniti have been mixed by the Sarkar and that he will not attend a political event. Listen in.
Now, this particular inauguration has been virtually converted into a state-sponsored inauguration. The state and the government shall not profess any religious affiliation. Therefore, we have decided that we should not be participating in this.
We are not going to this. We believe that religion and politics should be kept separate. The fact that the RSS chief is going to be addressing it obviously is completely politicized, and this is a result of the agenda of mixing religion, or using, I would say, religion as an instrument for political aims and motives.
The BJP was quick to point out that Yechury may be named Sitaram, but he won't go to the Dham. So the Congress is jittery and the left has decided to boycott, but the Samajwadi leaders have gone a step further. On one hand, Akhilesh's Member of Parliament Shafiqur Rahman Barq says that he's praying for the resurrection of the Babri Masjid. On the other hand, it is Mr. Maurya of the Samajwadi Party who says that Hinduism is actually fraud and dhoka and dhanda. Can you believe it? Listen in to all these bizarre statements coming just so close to the Pran Pratishtha.
सांसद जी, 22 जनवरी को अयोध्या में राम मंदिर का उद्घाटन है, क्या आप जाएंगे वहां?
मैं क्यों जाऊंगा? मेरे जाने का तो कुछ सवाल ही पैदा नहीं होता। मेरी मस्जिद जो कि वहाँ एक जमाने की मस्जिद थी, बनी हुई थी, अपनी जगह में बनी हुई थी, लेकिन इसके बावजूद भी उस मस्जिद को बहरहाल खत्म कर दिया गया। अल्लाह से दुआ करेंगे बस इस बात की कि अल्लाह ताला के इस बाबरी मस्जिद जो हमसे छीन ली गई है वो हमें वापस दे दी जाए।
हिंदू एक धोखा है, और वैसे भी अगर स्वामी प्रसाद मुझे कह देते हैं हिंदू धर्म नहीं है बल्कि एक धोखा है, और जिसे हम हिंदू धर्म कहते हैं वो कुछ लोगों के लिए धंधा है। जब हम कहते हैं कि ये कुछ लोगों के लिए धंधा है तब पूरे देश में भूचाल मच जाता है। लेकिन वही चीज अगर मोहन भागवत जी कहते हैं, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी कहते हैं, माननीय गडकरी जी कहते हैं, तो किसी की भी भावना आहत नहीं होती।
But should we be surprised by these words? Remember, Samajwadi Party's Mulayam Singh Yadav was in power on 30th October 1990 when 28 car sevaks were killed in police firing. In 2016, Mulayam Singh defiantly justified his order to the police to open fire. Listen in.
ये सही है, मुझे अफसोस है कि मस्जिद बचाने में 16 लोगों की जाने मौके पर गई। सभी प्रधानमंत्री थे, अटल जी मेरे खिलाफ बोलने लगे, टिप्पणी की खिलाफ तो नहीं, हम बोलने के लिए खड़े जैसे ही हुआ वैसे बीजेपी के चिल्लाने लगे मानवता का हत्यारा, मानवता का हत्यारा। क्योंकि अयोध्या में गोली चल चुकी थी। क्या मैंने कहा कि 16 जाने गई देश की एकता के लिए, अगर 30 जाने जाती तो लेते देश की एकता बता।
So the India alliance, which professes to be secular but dabbles in soft Hindutva, is now in a dharm sankat to go to the Ram temple or not. While Mulayam Singh Yadav once justified firing car sevaks, today Dimple Yadav said that she will definitely go to the Ram Mandir if she gets an invitation. Listen in on how these leaders are trying to skirt around the issue.
क्या 22 जनवरी को आप जाएंगे अयोध्या?
अगर निमंत्रण आएगा तो जाएंगे।
निमंत्रण रामलला ट्रस्ट की तरफ से,
और अगर नहीं आएगा तो भी जाएंगे, बाद में जाएंगे। शुरू से ही राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष जी ने इस बात को कहा है कि ये उनके अपने खुद के विचार हैं, ये समाजवादी की पार्टी के विचार नहीं हैं, और समाजवादी पार्टी उनके विचारों का समर्थन किसी भी रूप में नहीं करती है।
मैं समझता हूं कि इसमें मेरा एक मानना है कि जो ये निमंत्रण बांट के ये जो प्रोपेगेंडा कर रहे हैं, मैं समझता हूं कि इसमें तो सभी को आह्वान करना चाहिए, पूरे देश से आह्वान करना चाहिए।
मंदिर हर एक का है। वो जो बीजेपी कोशिश कर रही है कि वो मंदिर को भी जो कहते हैं कि हाईजैक करे, वो तो हम करने नहीं देंगे। और मुझे लगता है कि इसमें जो है हम किसी को हामी होने दें, हमें जाना चाहिए, क्यों नहीं जाएंगे।
जब ये अयोध्या का आंदोलन चल रहा था और निर्णायक घड़ी आ गई, बाबरी हमारे सामने टूट गई और ये भागने वाले लोग आज हमें योगदान के बारे में पूछ रहे हैं। आपका योगदान क्या बताइए? आप भगोड़े हैं इस हिंदुत्व के मैदान से।
So, ladies and gentlemen, the legitimate question on the news hour tonight is just this: is secularism in peril for Vipaksh in case they have to go to the Ram Mandir? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour first. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Professor Rakesh Sinha, Member of Parliament in the Rajya Sabha of the BJP. Also joining us this evening, Ratan Sharda, author, Kapil Khanna, President of the VHP in Delhi, Abhijit Iyer Mitra, Senior Fellow at the IPCS, Manoj Yadav, National Spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, Sanjay Jha, Suspended Congress Leader. But my first question goes to Vivek Srivastava, Political Analyst, supports the Communist Party. I want to ask you, Vivek Srivastava, ये secularism की चिंता है आपको? Because if you were to go to the Ram Mandir consecration, maybe secularism, the most misused word over the last 3 decades of politics, will be in peril. Because iftar party में तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, Wahan atheism, wahan there is no problem. You will go for iftar parties, but going to the Ram Mandir, there will be a question mark on the constitution, on your secularism and various other issues. Kyun Vivek bhai? Only for Hindus secularism is a problem?
You see, there are two things. First of all, the name Sitaram Yechury. So you said Naam Sitaram, lekin Ram mein Vishwas nahi. Naam se kuch nahi hota. It all depends on the ideology, and you are free to follow whatever ideology you want, whatever be the name given to you by your parents. If you go to Tihar jail and you make all the Hindu qaidis, all the Hindu prisoners stand in a line, the names could be many, even based on the religious gods of the Hindus, but that doesn't mean they have those qualities in them. That is my first answer to you. Secondly, this is not the question of the temple, it is the question of the politics of the temple, which the Prime Minister is trying to play, supported by the RSS, which is approaching 25 crore households in the name of Akshat Yatra, and trying to influence the 2024 elections. It is not about religion anymore. Dharam Guru ban gaye Rajnitijya, and politicians are becoming Dharam Gurus. Who's who, nobody knows. The inauguration and the Adharshila of the temple is being done by the Prime Minister, who may or may not have anything to do with religion. The movement is state-sponsored, simple politics of division, and to show the minorities that you are second-grade citizens and you do not have the same rights as the majority community. And this needs to be boycotted. And the Prime Minister must realize that he is the Prime Minister of everyone, every religion and every caste, and he needs to respect it. And we are against it. And that is why the boycott of this is necessary and it should be done. It is not against Ram, it is not against the temple, it is against the BJP and Honorable Prime Minister.
Well, Rakesh Sinha ji, sabse pehle to he gets an example of all Hindus in Tihar jail. Number one. Number two, Vivek Srivastava then comes out and says that minorities, we have to send a message, so we should not go to temple. Majority does not matter. And how does anybody is going to a temple send any message to any community? I am not understanding. But Rakesh Sinha, please respond.
First, I would give two examples. Tanmay Chakravarti, the CPI-M MLA in West Bengal, and another name is Manas Mukherjee. Both inaugurated more than dozens of Durga Puja Pandal. They categorically said that we cannot be isolated from the Hindu festivals and Hindu cultural events. This is the duplicity of the Communist Party of India Marxist along with the CPI. They participate where they get votes. They don't participate where they don't expect any votes. I think CPM and CPI both have been unfailingly perpetuating a politics to subjugate Hindu cultural life. And this politics of subjugation is being endorsed by not only the CPI, CPM, but the Marxist intellectuals along with this Congress party. All these groups constitute this pseudo-secularism. And I think the vote bank politics is to such an extent that they have not endorsed by their heart the Supreme Court decision. If they would get the chance, they would destroy the Ram temple, they would reconstruct the Babri mosque. I consider there is no difference between Owaisi and the Sitaram Yechury. Owaisi and Rahul Gandhi, both are on the same plank. The difference is the Owaisi is vocal, they are unvocal supporter of the Babri mosque. They have not accepted the Supreme Court decision, they have not accepted the Hindu cultural ethos. Ram temple is not a religious event. It is a cultural regaining of India. Cultural regaining in the context that the temple which was destroyed by the aggressors, we have rebuilt it. Just like the Somnath temple. Jawaharlal Nehru once opposed the reconstruction of the Somnath temple and he opposed to Dr. Rajendra Prasad going and inaugurating. The same politics is being perpetuated by Congress party, Marxist parties and their fellow travelers.
Well, let me get in Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha, secularism in peril, though the constitution has the picture of a Ram Darbar. But Ram bolne se, you're sending a message to the minorities of this country, you're leaving them unprotected, you are becoming a Dharam Guru just because you're going to the Pran Pratishtha. What kind of secularism is this? I thought secularism means respect all religions and all faiths. Why is only the Hindu faith such a huge black mark on the definition of secularism as defined by the opposition?
Navika, a very pertinent question. My dear friend, Mr. Sinha has made some very outrageous comments on your program. But I respect your viewers who I'm sure are discriminating enough to know that Mr. Sinha is using the platform of your popular program to play his political game. Good luck to him. I think the viewers can possibly see the wheat from the chaff. Let me answer your fundamental question. I'm of the firm opinion, Navika, that the India Alliance must attend unfailingly the ceremony of the consecration of the Ram Temple. It is a momentous occasion. Nobody should deny that. It is a historic moment. Absolutely. Is this the majority faith in the country? Absolutely true. And I do believe that at this point of time, to not attend this ceremony, I mean, I can't comment for the CPI-M because they have a different kind of a political ideology. They can answer for themselves. I think Vivek can make his statement.
Ideology is not the question. That's the point I'm making, Sanjay Jha. Because iftar parties have been attended by Sitaram Yechury, have been thrown by the Congress party, and then there is no mixing of religion with government and constitution. But only going to the Ram Mandir is somehow sacrilege of the constitution. Why?
No. Let me answer on behalf of the other parties in the India Alliance. We all know that the left has a different way of the way they look at religion and politics, and I respect that. Whether I agree with it is not really even important. The truth is that if the India Alliance members, whether it is the Congress, Samajwadi Party, TMC, and every party does not go for it, for whatever reasons, they actually allow the BJP to hijack the entire consecration and the event and the construction of the Ram Temple, which suits their political playbook. This Ram Temple is happening not because the BJP put it in their election manifesto, Navika. The viewers need to know this is happening because the Supreme Court of India, the highest court of India, which had to adjudicate on the dispute from both sides, took a unanimous opinion and said that the Ram Temple must be built and a new Babri Masjid must be built in an adjoining area. And therefore, I think we need to recognize that today. The BJP's, I want to ask Mr. Sinha this question. He keeps saying the BJP. This has got nothing to do with the BJP. This has got to do with the Supreme Court verdict. Mr. Sinha, can I ask you a hypothetical question? If the Supreme Court verdict had not gone on your favor, would you have agreed to the Supreme Court verdict? Yes or no? That is the point.
But that,
therefore, Navika, I think we need to recognize here.
That boat has passed. That boat has passed. So getting into a hypothetical situation is probably not what is required today. What is required today is that even if it was a Supreme Court verdict, the fact that the BJP gave up 4 governments, is that a fact or not a fact? Is it a fact or not a fact that, if the BJP or if the organizers, the RSS, the VHP had not invited opposition leaders, would you not have cried blue murder that they are hijacking a whole program? But today, because they are inviting, it is being boycotted with such pomp and show in the name of secularism. And Ratan Sharda, that is where my question comes in. I'm coming to you, Sanjay. But Ratan Sharda, शाम से बॉयकॉट करेंगे, नहीं बुलाया होता तो कहते कि ये किसी को नहीं बुला रहे, बीजेपी का फंक्शन हुआ है, अब बुलाया है तो हम बॉयकॉट करेंगे. ये किस तरह की राजनीति है? Hindus don't have feelings, they don't feel hurt, only minorities and other religions feel hurt. And when the ideology is spoken about of the left parties, well, iftar does not go against their ideology, but consecration of the in the Ram Mandir actually goes against their ideology. Is this complete hypocrisy?
Well, Navika, I have said many times that the cross of secularism has to be carried by Hindus. No other religion is responsible for secularism because they can flout constitution, they can talk of Sharia, they can talk of 100 things, but Hindus cannot speak of their rights nor of their pain. That is the truth. And communists are anyway anti-religion, but they are not anti-religion. Actually, in India, they are anti-Hindu because they will never speak a word against malpractices of any other religion except Hindu Dharma. They will insult Hindu Dharma, they will hate Hindu Dharma in any name, but they will never point out anything alien, any problem with any other religion. They have ruled Kerala, they have ruled Bengal, and we've seen how they have treated other minorities. Their problem is the Hindus, because that is the root of this Bharat. The Bharat that exists is because of the 10,000-year-old civilization, undying civilization. That's what communists hate. Because for them, any ancient civilization is antithesis of their creation, of their idea of a state which is governed by the dictatorial proletariat, so-called, but Communist Party heads. Now, coming to the secularism business, you can go to Mother Teresa, you can give her Bharat Ratna, you can worship her, that's secularism. You can visit Pope, you can visit Pope Vatican. When Pope comes to India, you can bow before him, that is also secularism. State Chief Minister like Mamata Banerjee can bow before Durga, that is also fine. But God forsake, how can Prime Minister Modi profess his religion? So this myopic view of Hindu Dharma is the problem with these people. There is nothing else. And as far as Congress is concerned, Sanjay Jha forgot to mention, because he loves to do it, because Rahul Gandhi, they should acknowledge Congress lost its way. They should acknowledge that they were doing during earlier debates. That was Rajiv Gandhi who unlocked the doors of Ram Temple. Rajiv Gandhi allowed the Shilanyas of Ram Mandir. It was Rajiv Gandhi who started his campaign, last campaign, from Ayodhya calling for Ram Rajya. And what happens to Congress after that? They went on delaying the court decisions. They went on delaying the entire reconciliation process. They had left historians presiding over debates where they disappeared when the evidence was being presented, because they knew they had no answer to presentation. Their fake history was called up to the courts themselves, was High Court and Supreme Court. And those are the people who were actually fated by this Congress party. And those are the people like Kapil Sibal who said, please postpone the decision of the courts because 2019 elections are around. So who made it political? Congress party. If they attend, who is inviting them? Ram Mandir Trust. So why should they boycott it? Why should they feel offended? Why does secularism get hurt when you have a cultural movement of the nation? I do not understand. Ram is Maryada Purushottam. Ram presents the finest qualities of Dharma in this country. He is worshipped not just by Hindus, but every community, realizing that every ideal they seek for their family, for the society, flows from Ramayana, flows from Bhagwan Ram. For that, if they feel that they can play petty politics, I do not know what to say.
Well,
they have got invitation by Congress party, cannot accept without making all the halabaloo. I simply don't understand.
Sanjay Jha, what's your counter?
Yeah, actually, Ratanji, who's my very good friend, has answered the question himself. I'll tell you why. Number one, he cannot deny that the verdict has been given by the Supreme Court to go ahead and build the Ram Temple, and the invitations have been issued by the Ram Temple Trust. And that is the real reason why the opposition says, and they're correct, and that is also true, that end of day, the BJP, and this is not something new. The people of India, everyone watching your program, all the enlightened panelists, everybody knows that the BJP will try and make an electoral play on the Ram Temple. That is not news at all.
Sanjay Jha, please tell me your alliance partner of the Congress party in the India Alliance, CPI-M. Look at what their statement is. They say CPI-M General Secretary Comrade Sitaram Yechury has received an invite to attend the inauguration of the Ram Temple. The CPI-M policy has been to respect religious beliefs and safeguarding the right of every individual to pursue their belief. It believes that religion is personal choice and not to be converted into an instrument of political gain. If the BJP is not inviting, then how is it political gain? Please respond to that. Number two, he says, it is unfortunate that the BJP and the RSS have converted a religious ceremony into a state-sponsored event directly involving the Prime Minister and the UP Chief Minister and other government functionaries. Now, either what you are saying is right, or the CPI-M is not understanding you, or what the CPI-M is saying is right, and somewhere between all of you there is confusion on this issue as well as on a million other issues. So let me ask Kapil Khanna ji of the VHP. Kapil Khanna ji, आप ये इनविटेशन देने के लिए जब गए तो क्या बातचीत हुई? इनविटेशन देने गए होंगे तो शायद टाइम भी लिया होगा, नहीं तो जनरल सेक्रेटरी वहां दफ्तर में है नहीं है, एंट्री नहीं होती. तो थोड़ा हमारे व्यूअर्स को बताइए कि आप टाइम लेकर गए थे और बताया था कि किस कारण से आप जाना चाहते हैं.
500 वर्ष की प्रतीक्षा के बाद हिंदू समाज को ये दिवस देखने को मिल रहा है। हम सब जानते हैं कि इस घड़ी की प्रतीक्षा में हम सब लोग प्रतीक्षित थे। श्री राम जन्मभूमि तीर्थ क्षेत्र ने इस कार्यक्रम में रामलला विराजित होने जा रहे हैं अपने मंदिर में। इस कार्यक्रम के लिए विश्व के सभी हिंदुओं को निमंत्रण देने का कार्य हाथ में लिया है। हम सभी हिंदुओं के पास जा रहे हैं। पूजित अक्षत आ चुके हुए हैं अयोध्या से। पूजित अक्षत देते हैं, हम उनको ऐसा एक निमंत्रण पत्र देते हैं और अयोध्या से आया हुआ ये जो चित्र है रामलला मंदिर का, ये चित्र सबको देते हैं। हम सबको अनुरोध कर रहे हैं, हम सब ने मिलकर इस भव्य मंदिर को बनाया है। हम सब ने मिलकर अंशदान दिया था 2 वर्ष पहले और उसके कारण ये मंदिर पूर्ण हो रहा है। हम सबको 22 जनवरी में अयोध्या जी आना है। अब करोड़ों हिंदू तो अयोध्या जी नहीं आ सकते हैं उस दिवस में, व्यवस्था नहीं हो सकती है, सुरक्षा का भी विषय है, कार्यक्रम कैसे होगा। तो हम सबको अनुरोध कर रहे हैं कि उस दिवस में अपने पड़ोस के पूजा स्थल को, अपने पड़ोस के मंदिर को, अपने पड़ोस के गुरुद्वारे को, अपने पड़ोस के बौद्ध स्थान को, अपने पड़ोस के वाल्मीकि मंदिर को, अपने प्रदेश पड़ोस के पूजा स्थल को ही अयोध्या जी मानकर आप सब वहां आएं। अपने परिवार के छोटे बच्चे से लेकर एक बड़ा बूढ़ा भी, वो सब इकट्ठे आएंगे। एक मालिक का, दुकान का मालिक भी और दुकान का नौकर भी, सब वहां आएंगे।
लेकिन
आकर इकट्ठे
खन्ना
सभी
जी, मेरा सवाल,
सभी पूजा स्थलों में लाइव ट्रांसमिशन का अरेंजमेंट है।
आपने जो कहा वो बहुत
बहन जी, मैं आपके सवाल का, मैं आपके,
हाँ, मैं सवाल ये पूछ रही हूं कि जब आप येचुरी जी को देने गए,
आपके जी, आप
उनको आमंत्रित करने गए।
बहन, मैं उसी पे ही आ रहा हूं जी। हम करोड़ों, हम सभी हिंदू पास के मंदिरों में आएंगे, ऐसा करके निमंत्रण दे रहे हैं। और कुछ 100 भाग्यशाली हिंदू ऐसे हैं, कुछ भाग्यशाली 100 ऐसे लोग हैं जिनको हम निमंत्रण अयोध्या जी आने का दिया जा रहा है। श्री राम जन्मभूमि तीर्थ क्षेत्र की तरफ से हम वहां पर श्री सीताराम येचुरी जी को निमंत्रण देने के लिए गए। निमंत्रण पूर्व समय लेकर दिया गया, अच्छे मन से, अच्छे भाव से हम गए। हमारा एक बड़ा कार्य होने जा रहा है, इसके लिए हमने उनको निमंत्रण दिया और उन्होंने बड़े अच्छे मन से उस निमंत्रण को स्वीकारा भी।
अच्छा,
हमने ये भी अनुरोध किया कि प्रकाश कारक जी भी यहां पर उपलब्ध हैं, तो हम उनको भी बुलाएंगे। तो उन्होंने बताया प्रकाश पारस जी का स्वास्थ्य ठीक नहीं है, वो गए हुए हैं बाहर, वो बाद में आएंगे, आपका संदेशा हम उनको भी देंगे।
और उन्होंने कुछ कहा कि वो आना चाहेंगे, आएंगे, नहीं आएंगे?
उन भाग्यशाली जी बहन, उन्होंने तो हमें अच्छे भाव से हमसे निमंत्रण स्वीकार किया और हम जानते थे, वो जानते हैं कि कुछ एक भाग्यशाली हिंदुओं में से हैं जिनको अयोध्या जी आने का निमंत्रण मिल रहा है, तो उसी भाव से हमने उनको निमंत्रण दिया है, उन्होंने स्वीकारा भी है।
अब ये बहुत सही बात आपने कही कपिल खन्ना जी, और मैं मनोज यादव जी से पूछना चाहती हूं। मनोज यादव जी, कोई ऐसे ही नहीं गया किसी को निमंत्रण देने, समय लेके गए, ये भी बताया कि भाई अयोध्या जी आपको बुलाने के लिए आ रहे हैं, निमंत्रण दिया, वो अच्छे भाव से लिया भी, बाद में बॉयकॉट, बाद में आपको याद आता है कि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के खिलाफ है, मोदी जी वहां होंगे, ये होगा, वो होगा। मैं पूछना चाहती हूं, क्या यही सेक्युलरिज्म है कि आप निमंत्रण ले भी, अगर ना दिया जाए तो हाय तौबा मचाए भी कि ये मोदी जी का कार्यक्रम हो गया, लेकिन जब मिल जाए जो आप एक्सेप्ट कर लें समय देने के बाद, फिर कहें कि हम इसको बहिष्कार करेंगे? ये किस तरह का सेक्युलरिज्म है, मैं आपसे पूछना चाहती हूं।
नाविका जी, सेक्युलरिज्म किस तरह का, ये ना मैं तय करूंगा ना आप तय करेंगे, ये संविधान विद
और कानूनविदों ने तय कर दिया, लिख दिया। अब जिसको समझ में आ रहा है वो मान रहा है, जिसको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, सेकुलरिज्म में कोई सूडो लगा दे रहा है, कोई ऊडो लगा दे रहा है। वो सब अपने अपने तरीके से कर रहे हैं। लेकिन मैं एक बात कहना चाहता हूं, ये वीएचपी के हमारे साथी खन्ना साहब कितना मीठा बोल रहे हैं, ऐसा सुन रहा था, मतलब मुझे तो लग रहा था मैं शहद मेरे ऊपर से गिराया जा रहा है और अनुभूति हो रही। कितना मीठा बोल रहा है। आपको शिवसेना का निमंत्रण देने के लिए किसी ने बाउंड कर रखा था क्या? वहां कब जाओगे देने? वहां जाओ ना, उनका भी तो योगदान है। गए उद्धव ठाकरे जी को देने निमंत्रण? नहीं गए ना। क्यों? आप पॉलिटाइज करना चाहते हैं, पूरी तरीके से राम पे राजनीति करना चाहते हैं। हमारे गांव में जब ब्रह्म भोज होता है, इस पैनल में बैठे सभी लोग गांव से टच होंगे, तो डुग्गी पिटवाई जाती है, निमंत्रण नहीं बांटा जाता है। और ये तो भगवान राम का, अभी कहा बीएचपी ने 500 साल की बात क्यों कर रहा हूं मैं? तो 5000 साल की बात करता हूं। 5000 साल पहले मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम राम हुए थे और अब पहली बार उनका मंदिर बनने जा रहा है, पहली बार। ये बात आप बेहतर समझते होंगे, लेकिन आपने डुग्गी पिटवाई नहीं, आवाहन किया नहीं। आप अपने तरीके से अच्छत और चावल बंटवा रहे हैं, बंटवाइए, कोई मना थोड़ी नहीं कर सकता है। लेकिन वीएचपी, आरएसएस, चंपत राय एंड कंपनी इस पे राजनीति कर रहे हैं। और एक हमारी दंत कहानियों में है, मैंने बुजुर्गों से सुना है कि पता नहीं किसने, माता सीता ने श्राप दिया था या किसने दिया था, अयोध्या श्रापित है। क्यों श्रापित कर रहे हो? उस श्राप को क्यों आगे बढ़ा रहे हो? अरे उसको क्यों इतना कंट्रोवर्शियल कर रहे हो भाई? राम मंदिर बन रहा है, खुशियां मनाओ। आप क्यों कंट्रोवर्सी पैदा कर रहे हो? और जो श्रापित शब्द माता सीता ने शायद कहा था अयोध्या के लिए, उसको और आप जिंदा करना चाहते हो। रोजाना आप उसको विवादित बनाते चले जा रहे हो। अरे एक आह्वान कर दो, अगर प्रधानमंत्री जी से कराना उनसे करा दो, आरएसएस प्रमुख से कराना उनसे करा दो, वीएचपी के प्रमुख से कराना उनसे करा दो, शंकराचार्य जी से कराना उनसे करा दो। ये नौटंकीबाजी क्यों कर रहे हो भाई? बीजेपी के बेटे का तिलक है क्या?
नौटंकीबाजी, राकेश सिन्हा जी, नौटंकीबाजी।
रोजाना इस तरह की बातें करते हैं।
जिन्होंने कार सेवकों पर गोली चलाने का आदेश दिया था, वो आज उद्धव ठाकरे जी के लिए निमंत्रण मांग रहे हैं और कह रहे हैं ये नौटंकीबाजी क्यों हो रही है? जवाब दीजिए।
देखिए, जो गोली और गाली दोनों साथ लेकर चलते हैं, उनके लिए तो कुछ कहना कठिन है। मुलायम सिंह यादव जी ने गोली चलाई और यहाँ बैठ के चंपत राय एंड कंपनी इस तरह की भाषा का उपयोग कर रहे हैं,
उस पर कोई सजा नहीं दी गई है।
और मैं एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट, व्हाट आई वांट टू कम्युनिकेट, बिकॉज दे आर वर्किंग एज द फ्रिंज एलिमेंट्स इन इंडियन पॉलिटिक्स. In fact, entire pseudo-secular forces are victim of the lemming tendency. They are committing political suicide by taking such instance. What Sanjay Jha is speaking is not the mainstream position of the Congress party or the pseudo-secular forces. What I am telling that Congress party believes in, and the DNA of the Congress party and the CPI-M is anti-Hindu. Prime Minister Narendra Modi goes to Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. He liberated the Hindu community. He liberated the entire Hindu community, Hindu cultural community from the guilt conscience infused by the pseudo-secular forces along with the colonial forces. This has been consistent position since the Mughal rule, colonial forces and Nehruvian rules. All three together infused the guilt conscience among the Hindus. Being a Hindu is something like being a communal. And being a minority means being the true Indian. And this is it is the Congress party Prime Minister Manmohan Singh who once said that the first right on resources belongs to the minority community.
कैसे लोगों को बैठा जो किसी सवाल का जवाब नहीं दे पाते हैं?
देखिए, एक बात आप सुन लीजिए, आप बीच में इंटरवीन मत कीजिए।
सवाल पूछा,
नाविका जी, two things are very important.
अरे इंटरवीन नहीं करना चाहता मैं, अपने
समाजवादी पार्टी is going to be finished in the Uttar Pradesh because the party believes in anti-Ram politics. It is die-hard anti-Ram. And Sanjay Jha, I am really amused by Sanjay Jha's logic. He says because BJP is hijacking, so the other parties should go. They are not going due to conviction to Bhagwan.
बिल्कुल, राम में आस्था है इसीलिए नहीं जाना है, बीजेपी हाईजैक ना कर ले इसीलिए जाना है। और मनोज यादव जी को तो ये नौटंकी लग रहा है, ये नौटंकी बाजी क्यों हो रही है? अभिजीत अय्यर मित्रा, how do you look at the manner in which this entire issue is trying to be so-called politicized. I want to ask you, if they weren't invited, they would have tried blue murder. They are invited, so they will boycott. नौटंकी बाजी हो रही है, अगर हिंदुओं के लिए कोई बड़ी चीज हो रही है, वो उसको सेलिब्रेट करना चाहते हैं, तो वो नौटंकी बाजी है. इफ्तार में जाना वो नौटंकी बाजी नहीं है. What kind of secularism is this?
देखिए नविका जी, since I've heard all their arguments, I'm going to collect my arguments and come back to every one of them one by one. You see, first of all, there is a reason that all successful international communist movements considered Indian communists to be clowns. Nobody has ever taken them seriously. The highest anyone in the Indian communist movement ever managed was to marry Stalin's daughter, you see, and they've never achieved anything beyond that. Now, the problem here is secularism. There is no one word for it. There is American secularism, which is meant to accommodate every loony. There is French secularism, which actively opposes the interference of religion in state. It actually pokes its nose into religion. And then there is Indian secularism, which is dharma nirpeksh, which accepts religion in politics, just that the state does not choose sides. Number one. So clearly, Mr. Yechury doesn't even know his basic communist theory, and for somebody who's a communist, or Ms. Brinda Karat for that matter, it shows you why they're reduced to a party of 5, 6, 7 MPs. Has been party gone, forget about them. Second is the issue with the INC. You see, Sanjay Jha understands this. He's a very smart man. He's trying very desperately to play the card that Rahul Gandhi should be playing. But you see, Rahul Gandhi being the failure that he is, he has to keep, the one bird in hand, which is the fundamentalist Muslim vote, which he's trying to split with the CPI-M. And there's nothing he can do about it. Yes, the Congress should take, why is he giving credit to the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court doesn't validate my religion. The real credit for this goes to P.V. Narasimha Rao, who allowed our brave volunteers to go and make this day possible today. But he will never thank them, because he also has to play a safe line out here. He can't burn bridges to return to the party if and when they take him back. Of course, he said, that how is this, are you going to change the constitution? Well, we should do exactly what his former leader Rajiv Gandhi did after the Shah Bano judgment. If you're unhappy with a judgment, you go change the constitution. That is what you do. Third, please remember, the Supreme Court has nothing to do with today. None of this has ever had to do with the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has always been a rubber stamp that has rubber stamped everything that powerful governments have always decided. Remember, this was a Supreme Court that said the emergency was totally
no,
legal.
I don't belong to that school of thought where we are going to say that the Supreme Court is a rubber stamp. The fact of the matter is, we can't trivialize the fact that for 70 years this entire matter has been through various courts, and the legal battle has been fought. Otherwise, this, if it had to be, their way or the highway, they would have taken this call much earlier. But the question really, my objection is to one issue and one issue alone. And Sanjay, I want to ask you this issue. When Rahul Gandhi comes out and says, I'm a Janeudhari, then that is not Hindutva, that is not against the constitution, that is not, mixing politics with religion. When he comes out and says he's a Shiv Bhakt, then, the Congress party says he's a Shiv Bhakt, then that is not politics and religion being mixed together. But if Modi goes to Ayodhya, then religion and politics are getting mixed up, and secularism is in danger. I want your response on this doublespeak.
Okay, Navika, I'll answer you, and I'll answer you very frankly. This is once again a momentous occasion for all the people from the Hindu community in this country, and it is the majority community. I broadly look at our panel today, and I am assuming, going by the names and surnames, that we are all Hindus on your program. And this is the point I wish to make, that Mr. Modi is also a Hindu. And therefore, as a Prime Minister of this country, he has every right to celebrate the occasion the way he deems it fit. I'm not taking that away. If they want to, the RSS chief, Mr. Bhagwat, to make a speech, so be it. This is a decision of the Ram Temple Trust. All I'm saying here is this, and this is my simple point, which links to what Abhijit was saying earlier. Abhijit tried to insinuate in his statement that it is okay. He said the reason why we're here today is because the volunteers did what they did. This is the problem. This is the problem when people begin to endorse the desecration or the devastation of the Babri Masjid and justify that, because Abhijit should be aware of this. I think he's a pretty seasoned guy. It led to communal riots in the country, Abhijit, and there was a human lives were lost. So I think we need to take a little bit of a deep breath and not make statements so casually. This is the problem with conversations. It becomes toxic. It becomes very
Of course it becomes toxic, because Sanjay Jha, when you say I'm seeing the names on this panel and from the names I find out that we are all Hindus, then that is not religious profiling. But if somebody else were to say कि हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये एक कम्युनिटी के हैं, ये दूसरे कम्युनिटी के हैं, then that becomes a hate speech. बस चश्मा अलग है संजय झा. आप बोले तो आकाशवाणी, कोई और बोले तो उसका कहना जो है वो डिवीजन इन द सोसाइटी है. एंड दैट इज योर सेक्युलरिज्म इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम माय सेक्युलरिज्म. इन माय सेक्युलरिज्म it is Eid, it is Christmas, it is Guru Purab, and it is Diwali, which is important. In my secularism, I will appreciate every person, whether he's a Christian, whether he's a Sikh, whether he's a Muslim or he's a Hindu. But in your secularism, everybody else, yes, we will love them. But when it comes to Hindus, well, boycott, hurting them, well, we should not ask any of these questions, because that is your definition of secularism. And that clearly is the problem with Indian politics over the last 3 decades. And that's why the boycott happens, because vote banks and politics, that's what the Vipaksh is also doing, but clearly doesn't want to admit it. Lekin public hai, sab janti hai. The people of India can see through all of this so-called not tankibazi. We leave it at that. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1.